Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
My name is Scott. I'm graciously joined by Lee. Unfortunately, Costa cannot join us this evening, but that doesn't mean the fun stops here. He will be back with us next week, hopefully.
He will be.
How have you been, Lee? How have you been? Quickly, before we
Yeah,
move on to
all
our
right,
topic.
mate. All right, doing okay. Yeah, just the usual, mate.
The usual.
Busy outside of channel content stuff at the minute, but I'll not get into that today. But yeah, doing all right, mate. I've got nothing to really report.
That's fine.
Other than that, so sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyone listening at home, today we're going to be talking about quite a hot topic right now. Well, I feel like it's been a hot topic for a while. For long-time listeners of the channel, the podcast, you will know that we have done a podcast an episode in the past talking about the current state of the card market, because since COVID, it's kind of exploded, and me and Lee often have long discussions about the current state of the card market, and so we thought, since we're missing Costa, it might be a good time to sort of just have a chat. Because we could probably ramble on about it for hours, as we have done in the past. We've both got our own sort of small collections, and I think what I'd like to start off with, and I think I've said this to you in the past, I feel like card collecting now has kind of got it's got a lot of FOMO at the moment because of the scalpers and how difficult it is to get stuff. And
Yeah,
as I said, I think I mentioned this to you not too long ago now, but I feel like sometimes I look at it and go, oh yeah, I need to get this, I need to get that, I need to stay on top of it. Which, for one, I feel like it's fucking Pokemon cards at the end of the day. Like this is insane that it has become an investment, but I guess like buying a house shouldn't be an investment. It has unfortunately just become a byproduct of an in-demand collectible. But for me, I think it's really important. I don't know how you feel about this, to kind of just be thankful for what you managed to get hold of. So obviously there are some older sets. I think you got me into collecting sort of just pre-COVID, when Evolving Skies come out, which you kind of had a little blessing there, because I managed to pick up a sealed booster box and some ETBs, as you well know, and that is sitting currently as my retirement fund. But
how good was that deal, though, mate? It came in
was it 120 quid
case
with an acrylic case?
Yeah.
Mate, you can't even buy booster boxes for 120 quid now.
Mate, I know. That's madness.
And how much is the current value of Evolving Skies? Is like, what, $2,500 a booster box?
If we could time travel back then and just be like, we should buy more than one of these.
Yeah, it's actually crazy.
But, no, we did the right thing. We just bought one each, and that's the writing's on the wall from there. So yeah, no, I think it's a good topic to discuss at the minute. Like you say, we've talked about this before, and I think it's quite a relevant thing it's kind of close to both our hearts as well. But the whole card market at the minute is just absolutely mad. But like you say, I think you've just got to be grateful for
what you have,
what you've got and what you're able to pick up, because I keep having this feeling, mate, and what you're talking about now, like, it is an investment, but I still have this little inkling in the back of my mind. I'm like, when is it gonna crash? When is it gonna retrace? When is the bubble gonna pop? And it just, I kept thinking that for the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet block. And for 3 years, it just hasn't. It's just continued and continually has grown and got more and more and more and more. And I'm just like, I feel like nothing lasts forever, right? But this has gone on, way longer. And is this just the standard that cards are going to be like from now on going forward? Because I've had a lot of conversations with competitive TCG players, the casters as well. And I've always been interested does it affect the player base? But because a lot of the more competitive cards are common cards, or they're the ones that aren't collectible, they're easy to pick up. Decks now for the competitive player are pretty much cheaper than they ever have been before to get into competitive TCG. It's really easy. It's relatively low cost as well, which it hasn't always been. So in regards to that, it's not hampering or like really disturbing the competitive side of things, which is, I guess, a blessing in disguise. But otherwise, if you're a collector, it
It's
is,
been
and
rough.
it will continue to be rough. Yeah, mate. Yeah. What was
Mm.
that you were pulling up?
I was just trying to sort out eBay. I was doing some live live scuff podcast editing. I was just trying to get the why is it that way?
Keeping it real, mate. But
Keeping
I
it
will
real,
say,
man.
while I've got the moment now, while Scott's pulling this up before he gets into it,
There we go.
if
There we
you
go.
are tuning in this week, thank you so much. Big shout out from myself, Scott, and of course our absent broadcaster. But if you can spare us a second, go down there, drop us a like, do subscribe if you're new to the podcast, to the channel. It really does help support everything that we do. If you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms, then do give us a rating and follow along there as well, because that does massively help out. So that's a little plug to start us off this week. And I'm going to throw it back over to Scott to tell us what we're looking at right now. And also, mate, how are you this week? I didn't
Oh
even
no,
get a
no, no,
chance
it's
to
fine.
ask
No,
you.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, fuck you. No, no, I'm joking, joking. No, I'm very good. I'm very good. I just thought I'd bring up, you know, the Poke Collector has a really good section on their website where they have a list of all the different sets. You know,
Mm.
we can maybe look back on what we think are sort of the missed gems. I mean, you sort of go back. I mean, when did it kind of kick off? Really, it's sort of Sun and Moon. Anything Sun and Moon stuff now is sort of crazy
It was
expensive,
the
isn't
late
it?
Sun and Moon block, wasn't it? Really, it was like
Cosmic
Hidden
Eclipse,
Fates,
Hidden
Unified
Fates,
Minds, yeah, Cosmic Eclipse. I mean,
Unbroken Bonds,
yeah, and you look at like Tag Team as well. You know that, when that set dropped.
Shining
I
Legends.
mean,
Damn.
Shining Legends. There was an ETB I saw auctioned about 2 weeks ago. I was very tempted, but it was a lot. But I had never seen one in a long time. The
What Shining
rarity.
Legends?
Yeah, yeah. It's a cool
How
set
much was it?
though. It was a lot. I think around 500 for the
Mm.
ETB.
It's a
But they're
small
so hard to
set.
come by now.
Wow.
It's very small set, yeah.
Damn, the sets are
So
so much smaller back then.
and I guess the cards as well in there. The Mew test tube Mewtwo is probably the big one there. If you get
Mm.
that PSA 10, it's a very hard card to grade as well. So if you look at the pop report, there's not a lot of tens.
Oh,
So
really?
if you ever able, yeah, because I think a lot of the Sun and Moon cards as well during that era, they came out of the packs pretty banged up most of the time,
Uh huh.
so you were pretty lucky if you got like a clean one from these sets. As they progressed on, got to tag team, Unified Minds, Cosmic Eclipse, they did get better, but there was always that issue. I think we suffered that as well quite a lot in the Sword and Shield blocks as well, but seem to have quality control has got a lot better in Scarlet and Violet. Although I haven't opened half as many Scarlet and Violet products as I have done with previous
Really?
blocks and sets. Yeah. I mean, from your
Like if
experience recently, from us picking up, so we'll go into the Sword and Shield sets there where we had, you've got Darkness Ablaze, was probably one of those big early sets, and you had Vivid Voltage, and then it really like popped off with, I would say, Chilling Rain was kind of like the start of the snowball, right? And then it went into Evolving Skies, that dropped, and then that really just took off, and it's continued to do so since.
mm,
And all of those latter sets, I think, after Evolving Skies are bangers like Fusion Strikes. Uh, I
yeah,
mean, that has just went nuts as
you got
well.
lucky
I
with that,
mean,
didn't you? You managed to pick up
yeah, I picked up
before it popped off.
boosters were on the Pokemon Center website for a long time, and I was like, I haven't picked one up. I like this set. And this is when everyone really like was dumping on the set, saying it's a bad set. It's not got any big cards in it. The Gengar was pretty cheap at the time. I think the Gengar was like £100 card, which is
Mm-hmm.
just madness to think of right now. And
I
no
mean,
one really wanted the set, and it just sat on shelves. And I was
mm,
like, I'm gonna just pick it up before kind of this next new set comes. So I did. yeah, so I paid retail for mine, and
They're like £1,000 a booster now, aren't they, on eBay?
it's crazy, crazy. Yeah, I just regret not picking up the Gengar because at the time I was like, and I've done this so many times before, where the Gengar was sitting around 100, so roughly around the same as what the booster box was, and I thought, with how this set isn't getting hyped up, people aren't really seeming to enjoy it, I was like, the card's gonna drop, and I'm gonna pick it up in a month or two's time, and the card did nothing but just go to the moon. And I've
So
never had
hard,
that
isn't
card,
it?
and I
It's so
yeah, and
hard. I feel
yeah,
like
so
hindsight's such a bitch, isn't it? Like just trying to
mm,
like work out which cards are gonna pop up. I feel like the only set that's done quite well recently, or to me, has been like
mm,
good. Well, that's a lie actually. I think Mega Evolution was quite good. Obviously, you have the
mhm,
Charizard, which is
yeah,
the one that's worth like fucking what is it, 800-900 quid, which is crazy for a set that's quite new.
yeah,
And I get it, but
the gold Charizard, isn't it?
it feels like it's overvalued. No, not that one. Not
Oh,
Mega
the alt
Evolution. Sorry, I'm thinking of Phantasmal Flames.
Phantasmo,
Yeah,
yeah.
duh. Um, yeah, it feels like it's massively overvalued, but I mean, it's a gorgeous card and it's got Charizard on it. So
It's a great card. I feel like all of the more recent cards in sets, the the chase cards, I feel like they're all overpriced, but it just seems to be this kind of
you had the
generalized
Gardevoir,
thing
didn't you,
when,
from Mega Evolutions as well?
yeah, when these sets drop now, it seems to be whatever the chase card is from these sets, the premium on it is like $1,000, straight out the traps. And it's like, maybe it does go down slightly, but then they seem to settle around 600-700 before they start kind of going back up again,
Mm,
which is just nuts.
yeah.
It's crazy. And
It,
trying to get product as well is just so impossible now. I think it's like, I'll ask you the question, like, when and how has your experience of buying products been more recently?
recently, um,
Mm,
well, actually, I've got quite a good not analogy, but like a good some yeah. I've got a good example of this recently. So I I'm quite the way that I work. Um, I'm a photographer, so I go out and I do appointments. So sometimes there's a Smith's Toys on the way to work, um, and I think it was whenever Phantasmal Flames come out, I was like, oh, I for some reason made a note that it was coming out on the day they did, and I think I had a job nearby in the morning, um, and then I did the job, and I think it was about 10 o'clock, and I was like, oh, why don't I go try the Smith stores? And just walked in, and they had ETBs, and I was like, this is odd. I did not expect it to be this simple, and I was like, sweet. Every time there's a new release, I'm just gonna go to this like early in the morning before work and pick it up, and it'll be good. I can get the stuff that I want, no problem. And then Ascended Heroes come out, and my naive ass thought it was going to be just as easy. So I
mm,
rocked up to the Smiths before I actually went to a job this time. So this was like 10 to 9. I rocked up.
mm.
They open at 9, and I was like, "There's no one here. This is weird." And I've pulled around the car park because it is like the end block of in an industrial estate, so the last one.
Yeah.
And I've pulled around the car park. I've seen the queue and it's gone all the way around the fucking side of the building. And
No way.
I'm like,
No
no,
way.
I'm not queued up for
Wow.
that.
Did you just continue driving?
I was just like, yeah, I just
It's
turned
like,
around,
yeah,
just left, mate. I was like, this is crazy.
that's nuts. Yeah, that's
So
I've just not even attempted to buy because I've just not had the opportunity to pick up any product for Ascended Heroes. It's just, I feel like I got so burnt, and we're going back a while now, but with Celebrations, when that came out, there we go, 1-0 to City. Maybe the Prem will be sorted tonight. Come on, Palace. Um, yeah,
I feel like it's a good set.
Celebrations.
Ascended Heroes.
Celebrations.
Celebration was a good set. What? How did you go back to Celebrations?
Well, this is when I first got burned by this demand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like really, and I feel like my mindset kind of changed then, where I don't really subscribe to the FOMO anymore, which is probably a little bit more healthy way to collect now.
Mm,
Um, but it was this the special premium collection box that was released. So the
Uh-huh.
ETBs came out, and then they released the special premium collection, and it just I remember trying to get it from Smith's Toys again. It was one of the places where they were stocking it. And I was there when it went live online, and I tried to reserve one, and they instantly, like, bots just ate them up.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, can't get any. And I think there was a shortage. It was a short print, so it wasn't going to be any more for a while, or any more we didn't know. And I remember going on to eBay like maybe an hour later, and there was like tens of these boxes just listed for like double MSRP, and I was just
Fuck it,
like,
it's mental, isn't it?
I was just like, nah, that was it for me. I was just like, and I kind of stopped even looking to buy stuff for a long time after that. And yeah, I kind of just take a chance now when I can, which is kind of sad. But there's occasions where I'll see there'll be like a queue up on the Pokemon Center website,
Hmm.
and I'll sit in the queue, and it'll be like I'll have it just open on a web browser, and an hour and a half later, I maybe get into the Pokemon website,
Hmm.
and everything's sold out. And there's been a few occasions, more frustratingly, where I've actually been able to put the product into my basket, get to the checkout, trying to pay, and it will just continually error, and it eventually is sold out. And I miss the products so many times, and it's like that's just for one thing of a new set. That's all, like all I'm wanting, and I just cannot seem to pick anything up. And
Well,
I'm
everything
sure
just
I'm
gets
not the
spotted,
only
doesn't it?
person. Yeah.
It's quite funny actually. So the way I managed to get a set of Heroes at ETB,
Mm,
I was very fortunate. So I went to a league challenge for Pokemon VGC, and the guy that run it is a TG player that I've known for quite a long time. A really nice guy, Stephen, and he has his own card shop, but he had it pre-COVID, so he has access to a lot more access than you would now, like because they changed the rules with being like being for you to be a distributor. Because I think what people started to do during the boom during COVID is people were just setting up shops just so they could get hold of
mm,
stock, but they've changed it so that I think you have to be like a legacy store now. The legacy stores get special access to a product that new do not. Like the newer stores don't. To stop people from, like I said, just creating a store just to get hold of stuff. So he bought some with him and was like, yeah, you can buy this for MSRP. And I was like, sweet. So obviously only
wow.
one per person. So I bought one, but I wouldn't have been able to get one, and that kind of made the whole journey worth it because I think they're like selling for insane money now.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that like straight out the traps, they were just
but you know what makes
nuts.
me
And
really
it's
sad? And I
yeah.
just quick reference before I forget.
Mm.
You'll remember this. 2019 Lil. Was it 2019 Lil? No, it was pre-COVID Lil.
Was it 2018, I think?
Me and you, we had
Yes.
a bad
Oh
time
my
at
God, I
Lil.
remember.
We
Yeah,
had a
I
bad
do.
time. We was like, let's
It
just buy
was
some
Leo.
at
Yeah.
MSRP and we'll just rip them. And we bought three ETBs between us, mate. And we got fuck all in them. And now they're worth. I don't even want to think about how much they're worth now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the Pokemon Center stamped ETBs are worth like 550, if not more. Probably way more than the last time I looked, which is just nuts. But yeah, I remember I actually pulled the alt art Alakazam from that set.
Did you?
What? Oh, is that 950?
That's for Pokemon Center one. Fucking
Yeah,
mental, isn't it? I remember at the time thinking this says so mid.
crazy. Yeah.
Like I don't think it's I just don't think it's that special, but because it's a 151 set, it's got that like premium, almost like Gen 1
Yeah.
tax.
151 though, I think when you like look at the cards in there, like you've got it's just the nostalgia factor, isn't it? It's like a better version of evolutions, you know? I just think
I just don't
there's
think.
some
I think the Squirtle's good. I think the starter
Charizard,
ones are good. All the starter
Blastoise.
ones are really
Yeah.
good. These ones, obviously, these are the ones that are worth money, right?
I think that's where the value in the set lies,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. These
Yeah.
three are the ones The
Yeah, I mean
Charizard,
that
the
the
Blastoise,
Charizard,
and
the
the Venusaur.
Blastoise, Venusaur,
I think
yeah.
the Charizard and the Blastoise are the best ones. But
Yeah. I pulled a Blastoise actually from a booster
oh, and the
bundle of
Zapdos is worth quite a
151.
bit as well. To be fair, I think.
Yeah, the Zapdos, yeah, the trios, it's a nice card. So,
You
but
pulled
yeah,
one.
yeah, the Blastoise. That's one of the ones I sent recently to
Oh,
get
nice.
graded.
Damn,
We'll see how
that'll be
that
worth
comes
quite a bit.
back. Depends on the grade, mate.
Mm. I tell you what. I tell you what.
So,
Recently, obviously, I think we mentioned last week on the pod that I had some card back from the grade. But
yeah,
getting a 10 makes a huge difference to the price.
it's
Like
crazy.
it's
It's nuts. And
yeah,
there's not really much difference when you like really look at
condition
it
of the
on paper,
card.
like the
There's not that
condition.
much
Yeah,
difference,
there's
is there?
not really much between a 9 and a 10.
Mm.
Yeah. And like I'm not super precious when it's like cards that I want for like just my collection purposes. I'm not like super I would always prefer a 10, but I'm not like super like particular that I have to have that card in a 10.
Mm.
Um like another example where I did get a little bit fortunate before this card took off. And I guess at the time I was like, I really love this card and it's at a price where I think this is actually all right. I'm happy putting the money down for this now. Was the Bubble Mew
Have you got
PSA
one?
9. Yeah, I got a PSA 9 one and I paid £70 for it. Yeah. So, but like,
Bruh.
yeah, but it was just because I wanted that card because I love that card so much, right? Um, but I lucked out so hard with that, and it is a 9 because the
Mate, an eight's worth 600.
yeah,
Fuck me.
but a 10's like nuts.
There you go, look. 700,
Yeah.
780 quid for a PSA 9.
Mm. But I think
But that,
after a while, you kind of just can when you see like if you've been in the hobby for a while, I think as much as this was just a personal card that I just looked at instantly and was like, oh my god! As soon as this set dropped, I was like, I need this card. It's amazing. It's Mew. It's shiny. The artwork's cool. But I think you get you kind of get an instinct for cards that are going to do well after a little while, you know, from sets, and you can kind of be like, that one there. But it's hard to pick out now because the cards, like we said before, straight out the traps, these chase cards are just nuts prices to begin with. It doesn't really seem to be really the opportunity that you used to get. But there will be the outliers there, but it's, you know.
well, yeah, to kind of add to that, I feel like it's like they're almost, because what used to happen, and I can think of a good example of this, base set Scarlet and Violet.
Mm.
If you look at
Oh yeah, the Miriam.
the Miriam. So what used to happen really is you'd have the chase cards, but then normally a month afterwards they would drop in price. This happened with the Umbreons. The Umbreon from Evolving Skies. Again, we spoke about, it was like 100. I remember you telling me, like, you looked at it, it was 100 quid once. He was like, oh,
I
didn't
think
pick
it
it
was the
up.
lowest I could have picked it up for was about 150.
That's what I
The
mean.
Moonbrian.
And
And
like
it wasn't too long after the set dropped.
the Miriam, which I still have from that time we pulled it at UIC, and the Koraidon, these were like hot chase cards, but then they've just fallen off. They just fell off a cliff. But I feel
You
like
can get the
cards,
Miriam for about 30 quid, I think,
yeah,
now.
I feel like the cards
Mm.
don't really do that anymore. I feel like they kind of
No.
just, oh, this is one that everyone likes. It stays at that value. It doesn't drop anymore,
Yeah.
which is
Mm.
crazy. Because like I said, this used to be great because you think you could either, if you just waited out the hype and the the chase card tax or inflation or whatever you want to call it, you can wait a couple of months and then you can actually get the card that you want. Whereas now it's like, oh wait, no, you have to pay 300 quid still. 2 months later, 3 months later.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that still. I feel like, I think there was there a Garchomp card, special illustration rare, can't remember which set it's from. But that came out the traps flying, that was really high, and then that dipped down. I think the same with the Pika from the Surging Sparks as well. The Pika card, that was like a £900 card at one
Really?
point. And that's probably around 300-400 now. But I mean, still, like, it's still crazy expensive.
Oh, way too much money. I mean, this is literally like,
Yeah, there you go.
this is fucking crazy.
So I don't know what a raw one right now would cost.
Let's get rid of the PSA
What's
bit.
that?
Come on.
Roughly, but It's like a lot. It's a nice card.
350.
Yeah,
It is a
350.
nice card. The thing is, like, there are certain, we've discussed in the past, there are certain Pokemon that any card with good artwork is going to sell.
Mm.
The starters, the Gen 1 starters, a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon people love. It is basically mostly Gen 1 Pokemon, the evolutions. I'm sure there are Lugia, there are some other exceptions in there. But if the artwork is good for any of these Pokemon,
Yeah.
like the cards just
Gengar,
go,
Lugia,
yeah, Gengar, Rayquaza,
Rayquaza,
yeah.
the evolutions, Pika, Charizard, of course. They're like the big hitters. You're gonna get like outliers around those, but they're kind of the big ones, right? That you would always look out for.
Mm.
And I don't know if you feel the same about this as well, because like the hobby just seems to have exploded now, and the price of everything's gone so crazy. Because there's that many more people involved. There's naturally a lot more to be wary of in the hobby as well now, I think.
Oh, mate.
And I will not like I refuse to buy cards raw anymore off eBay secondhand, because
Mm.
I've heard so many horror stories about people will grade their cards. If they don't get the grades they want, if they don't get the tens, they crack them and then sell them. And like a roll normally is around the same. It's like, a PSA 9, could be a PSA 8. As a buyer, you've got no knowledge of what that card is as it comes straight out of a pack. The seller could say that, of course, but that might not be the case. And not everyone's going to be as honest as you might be if you're putting a card listing it, and I just think I'm so cautious now about that, which is like another reason why I'm just not picking things up. And you've told me as well of people like
Oh, mate. The guy
um
found some guy on Vinted who was selling fake cards, fake
yeah.
graded cards, and if you put the PSA number in as well, like they took you to the PSA page, and the guy's disappeared. I cannot find him anymore. But legitimately, they were like 40 quid. Like the Mega Charizard one that I just said £900 ungraded. He had one of them PSA 10 graded. He said it was a proxy card or whatever you want to call it, display card. But like I said, you put the barcode in, takes you to a 10 of that page. I'm like, what if you just bought that and sold it to someone without
Yeah.
someone who just
And
didn't really know
what's
much about Pokemon, and they was like, I bought this, and then however many years down the line they go, I paid £1,000 and it's not real.
mm. And it
You know?
could be, that card that could have been damaged could have just been put into the placeholder and everything just fabricated to make it look like, oh, it got a 10, but it obviously got damaged in transit or something along those lines, when it was just completely faked the whole time through. I think there needs to be probably extra steps with the grading process in it.
Well,
I know
funny you
Ace
say
has
that.
quite a good thing, don't they, with their they have like an encryption scan thing that you can do on the back of their cards, which
Mm,
takes you to the actual card and you can kind of see the reference to it. I don't know. I don't think that sort of thing could be replicated. Although, what's stopping you just taking a photo of that and then printing it out, right? And then just putting a similar card in it's
uh-huh.
that says, replicating the label and everything. So I don't
Well,
know.
well,
It's worrying though as a collector when you think, yeah, and I think you've got to be really, really cautious about picking stuff up. It's I think fine going to your local game stores where and your vendors and people that you bought from in the past that you trust, because that will be a way for you to get things without having to actually worry about what you're spending your money on, to a certain extent. But yeah, you got to be so careful now, I think, with the price of things as well.
yeah, 100%. Like I said, with popularity, unfortunately, means comes a lot of fakes. A lot of people
Mm.
out there not for the love of the game, but for the love of the money. And unfortunately, that makes people do things that they shouldn't do. Um,
There's also a big part of me that like does think, right? Like the common consensus is that the Pokemon they have their printers running 24/7 and their backs are against the wall, right? And
that's not true.
but I don't think so. I think their whole plan is to create this scarcity. So there is a demand there, because if they just put out an endless flow of stock, there would never be this. There would be more of the chase cards in the market. prices for all of them would fall down. They would kind of regulate. The prices of the booster box would regulate. Like you can't buy a booster box, like unless you're lucky and pick it up at MSRP from the Pokemon Center or one of these retailers or a local game store. And you're one of the few lucky people to pick these up at retail, right? If you're looking to pick a booster box up off secondhand market, of even places like Chaos Cards and stuff like that, you're looking at getting a booster. You're lucky to get one for like 240 quid, right? Minimum, which is just nuts. It's like £100 more than it retails for.
Well, you
It's
think
it's crazy.
what was the 151 reprint they did? What was it called?
What do you mean the reprint?
They did way back when they did. What's the set? They did a
What,
not 151, a base set reprint.
Evolutions?
Evolutions. Is it
Evolutions, yeah,
Evolutions?
yeah.
So
Can you
where is
remember,
it?
like around COVID, that popped off, and the booster boxes for that were selling for like £1,000.
Well, I'll tell you a story. So when I was about 16, I bought a booster box of this and just ripped it in my living room. Do you know how much I paid for the booster box? This is another thing I want to talk about. I paid 90 quid for the booster box.
Yeah,
You can't even get them for like 150 now.
mm,
That's like
it's
minimum
mad.
recommended retail now.
Yeah, I bet. Like, I mean, all Sword and Shield boosters, although they were difficult to get, you were still able to get them, and they weren't crazy prices either. You weren't like paying, unless you got them from the Pokemon Center, where it's always been a little bit higher of a premium. But most places like Chaos Cards, Magic Madhouse, I can't think of others. There's so many that are here in the UK, and I'm sure there's plenty more in the US. But it was around that £100, 110, 120 max you were paying for a booster box, right? When you got them. There was just never like what we're seeing now. Like I never got the hype as well with like Destined Rivals. I'm not saying it's a bad set, but that out the traps was like 300 quid for a booster box. And outside of picking them up from the Pokemon Center, which is just nuts. And
Mm.
when it's like that to me, I'm just like, there wasn't really any cards in that set that I looked at and fell in love with. So I was like, don't don't need to even pay any attention to that anymore and forget about it because I'm priced out of it already.
Mm.
And it's going to be super difficult to get the set to begin with. Whereas
I
I
haven't got
think,
any.
yeah, well, previously, if this had been the equivalent set, say this was Chilling Reign in Scarlet and Violet, there was a few cards in that set that was like really nice cards. I'm not massively in love with any of them in particular, but I'll pick a set up. You still go out and get a booster because it was like maybe 120, 130 pound. And then I could be like, okay, I'll keep that for my sealed collection. There's nothing in it that I particularly want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do that. I feel like I can't personally do that with like the boosters now because they're just so expensive. Straight out the traps, you know?
Well,
And you just
this is
can't
it,
get them
right?
anywhere
This is
else.
what again. I had that conversation with you somewhat recently. Again, when we had one of our late night convos. I feel like I could, sometimes I have a bit of spare money at the end of the month, and I think, oh, should I invest it? What should I do? Should I treat myself? Blah blah blah. It's like hindsight's a bitch, isn't it? So for example,
Mm.
I could go buy myself one of these booster boxes right now. I've got the money, could buy it, but I've got to drop 300 quid, 320 quid, 340 quid, 350 quid just for a booster box. And yeah, it might be worth 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5 grand in the next 5, 10, 15 years. But you've still got to outlay that money now. And so it's just too much money to just drop for a lot of
Mm.
people to have that kind of cash just lying around. And it's just like you said, this is like a newer set. Like, why is it so much money?
Yeah,
Like
and
already, it's
I
ridiculous.
think that, yeah, the thing that puts me off as well with that price is that, like I said earlier, that I'm always worried about. There will be maybe a point where these cards retrace. They come back
And do a
to,
reprint.
they could reprint them, or the bubble could pop, and the value of the cards drops to a more normal kind of level that you used to back 5 years ago, and then in hand, the booster would drop as well, but yeah, I mean, reprints is a huge worry. I think if you're pulling these
think that's a
You
great
know,
question, actually. Do you think the bubble will pop? Do you think Pokemon cards Pokemon will just keep building their empire and Pokemon cards will just keep remaining
it
valuable?
can't. I don't know.
Because
I
people
feel
always
like
ask me this, and I'm like, I feel like as long as Pokemon remains a strong IP, there will
yeah.
always be ways, right, of when, Pokemon is popular and
Mm,
when the normies get involved. And we're kind of in that middle ground now where there are loads of people who kind of just have got involved with collecting because they know there's money in it. Um, and obviously during COVID, you had the big boom, right? Which even then, products weren't this inflated. Like I remember
no.
talking to you, trying to get hold of Shining Fates and Shining Legends and Hidden Fates.
Hidden Fates. Yeah.
Yeah, which I've got, and even then I paid inflated prices. I think I paid 80 quid for an ETB.
Yeah, I remember picking them up for around that.
Yeah,
But it was like you could
from
still
Total
get
Cards.
them, right?
Yeah, you
It
could
wasn't
still
like
get them.
too difficult. You could still get them, and the prices weren't too mad, right? That was like £30. So like what, like 40% above what
Also,
retail was?
why the fuck are Pokemon increasing their prices? It's not like how they can't be. Okay,
Mhm.
you want to go inflation and all that blah 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 blah. It's fucking cardboard. Are you telling me they need to increase the prices because their margins are that thin? Like
I guess they
what's
are
going
probably
on?
having to pay a lot more artists though, because the
I mean,
sets
that is
are a
good.
lot bigger,
That's true. But
and
still, the margins
the
must be
amount of
insane.
oh yeah, of course. But I mean the amount of, like, looking at it from both sides,
Mm,
looking at the amount of like special illustration rares that you've got now, alt arts,
true.
all those things compared to like a set like right, if we go back to like Battle Styles where it had 2 alt art cards in it,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3, no 4, right? It had the 2 Urshifu and then it had the Tyranitar and the Empoleon, right? I think that
Mm-hmm.
was it.
So
4, right? So you know, when in comparison to like sets now where you've got like 20 alt arts as a minimum
yeah,
in a set, it's yeah, I guess the amount of artists that you have to employ in contracts to these. I still think this is
it's a
a
good
slept
point.
on
It's
set.
a
I
good
think there's
point.
some
The
banger cards in
Tyranitar
this
is a great.
set.
It's a great card.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Even the this. I mean, this is a sick card. Like the Rapid Strike cards. I
I
mean, come
love
on,
this card.
it's
I
a
think
sick
this is
card.
so slept on. This is one of the most slept on cards, I think, in the Sword and Shield block. I think this is crazy. You can go out now and pick this up in a PSA 10 for about £150.
And I'm telling you now, we're gonna look back in 10 years and go, why the fuck did we not pick one up? Someone at some
Exactly
point is
that,
gonna
yeah.
decide, oh, I shoot a
Yeah,
cool Pokemon,
yeah.
and then they're
Well,
gonna
Urshifu to like our era of like Pokemon fans, Sword and Shield,
Sword and Shield. Yeah,
into Scarlet and Violet, everyone knows who Urshifu is. Urshifu's cool as well. It's just that it hasn't quite got that nostalgia factor yet, right? Where I think people would like be like, I need that card, and the art of that card, I think, is a banger. So they're all gems still, I think, that you can go out and get in these older, like not even older sets, just maybe
yeah.
the
PSA 10,
Sword and Shield
150
block.
quid.
Yeah, there you go. There you
150.
go. Hmm. Is it real? Is it fake? It's real. I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's real. But yeah, so there's examples there. There is value to have, but it's of course like you've got to. I think the big thing is you've got to enjoy the cards now more. If you're picking up cards for a premium, I
Mm-hmm.
think you've got to really enjoy the cards. And yeah, just kind of unless you just swimming in cash, then you just have to be a bit tight with what you pick up because the days of just going out and like
It's also like, okay, yeah, it is arguably almost a surefire investment. You still got to sit on them for a while, you know,
oh yeah,
for it
it's
to
not
for it to
like a
get
quick
like, and you've got to
yeah.
store it as well. This is a thing that I've realized
Mm,
recently. It's like I haven't got a huge collection, but I've probably got about 10, maybe 12 ETBs and one booster box. They take up space.
takes up a lot of space, yeah.
And I've got
Yeah.
I've got two UPCs as well.
Mm.
It's just like you got to buy the storage for them, and then like I don't want to leave them on display. I don't want them to get sun damage, so I'm like, I kind of just like hide them. But it's like, what am I doing? It's just annoying.
Dash them away.
Yeah, basically, I am just
Stash
literally
them
just
for a rainy
stashing the
day.
Pokemon away.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh,
And the thing
So
is now as well, I think, unlike maybe the Sun and Moon block is probably where it wasn't happening that regularly, where people were, getting booster boxes to keep sealed. I think it's a standard thing now where people are just buying sealed product to keep sealed rather than cracking and opening and collecting the cards, which
this is the thing, right?
really wasn't a thing. So I also have like reservations about like, in 10, 15, 20 years time, when you maybe come to sell your sealed product, how much more of that sealed product will be on the market because there was so many more people doing it at the time, just because of the popularity. So I don't know. But there is sets like Battle Styles that you can still pick up pretty reasonably. Talking about Battle Styles, it's on Chaos Cards right now for £300 for a booster box. I think that's just, if you're looking at an investment in to keep for like 20 years, I think that's a great one.
But everything comes in waves, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And sort of
And
trends,
there's no guarantees either.
No, no.
So it's so tough. But I think as just a coming at it from not even like a collector, from a fan side of it, that's where I feel stung, because there's cards out there I would love to have like on display, that I think the artwork is absolutely amazing, but I just feel like I'm never going to own those cards because, one, I never have the chance to actually buy the product to have the chance to pull them,
Hmm.
and two, out of the traps, the prices for those cards is just like, I just feel so priced out, and I don't feel like I want to sink like 5, 6, 700 pound on one card. I'm just not at that stage with my collection yet. I feel like I haven't got a deep enough collection to kind of finance doing that. And also, the cards that I have that I could sell that would maybe get me that card are ones I love anyway that I really don't want to part with. So it's like a real double-edged sword, and just a bad situation in a bad environment. And there is I feel like Pokemon have the possibility. I do not believe that they are printing 24/7 and putting out constant stock whenever it becomes available. I
No
feel like
way.
they've got stock backed up in warehouses that they are just drip feeding to feed into this uh demand and the price and just the scarcity that there is right now.
Hmm.
And I could be wrong, but that is just a theory I've got.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it does feel like they're kind of like doing it
Because if you're
kind of
yeah, because
semi deliberately, drip
Because if you're a
feeding.
business, that's what you want, right? You want to
Yeah.
create scarcity. You want to create the FOMO for your product, so it continues to sell it. That demand does not go away. And what better way to do it is to say that you're putting out as fast as you can, but you can't meet demand. But I don't know.
Well,
I feel like
I feel like you're right because there are obviously there are Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts, forums now that tell you when stock comes back in, and then it just gets gobbled up. So that they obviously do drip feed stock back out around. Argos is a good example of
mm,
places that they drip feed stock to, but it just gets instantly like gone. And again, it just feeds into the FOMO, and it work. I mean, fair play to them, it's working.
yeah,
It's just like as a like I think there's nothing most people can agree. There's something kind of therapeutic about just ripping packs. But
I
like
love it.
doing
Yeah.
it now just feels like a waste of money
mm,
to the point where I'm just like buying foreign. Like I buy Korean booster boxes because they're like 30 quid. And okay, you don't get the same hit rates, pull rates, but you're just to get the hit of like opening the
Get
booster
that scratch.
boxes.
Yeah. I remember
So
just before Christmas, I got lucky with the two 151 booster box bundles,
oh
and
nice.
they were like £24 or £25 each, and I was like, oh my god, like, and it was two per customer, so I got two of them, and I was like, i'm not I'm not going to keep these. I was like, this is a cool set, I want to open them, and that's when I got the Blastoise out of it. So that's I know what you mean about just the wanting to, it's fun opening packs as well. Like, I did it with Thea, and yeah, we had a blast doing it. So yeah, there's just, yeah, but now it just feels so hard to do, right? I mean, I did get lucky with one August drop, and that was for the Charizard EXUPC, the Mega Charizard one.
Yeah.
But I think they've restocked that quite a lot, because I think that's been
Yeah, my brother and his partner actually got me one for Christmas, and I cried.
nice.
I couldn't believe they actually got hold of stock. I was like, what? She's like, yeah.
That's
She's like, oh,
awesome.
I walked into a shop and they just had it, and I was like, there's no
Wow,
way you got that lucky just having to be walking past the shop and was like, oh, can I get some? And yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
they ended up. So I've got that.
Did
I
you
the
crack
first
it?
UBC. No, no,
Keeping
don't be
that one.
silly. No, it's hard. Like I said, it's hard. I feel like I'm just throwing money away when I crack them.
Mm,
So especially the
yeah,
an ETB maybe, but the UPCs cost like over 100 quid. So it feels like
yeah.
the value is a lot inherently a lot higher there.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yeah.
there's like I've got a like a collection box and it's got Evolving Skies in it.
Oh,
And there's like it's got 2 Evolving Skies and 2 Fusion Strikes and
that's
I think
crazy.
a Chilling Rain or something like that in
Bro, you
it.
gotta rip them.
I really want to. I really want to. And there's been so many times because I'm working on a video at the minute. So when I had the chance to sit down and do content for that,
Hmm.
because it's quite monotonous because it's shiny hunting. Um, there's so many times where I've just been like looking at the shelf and being like, should I just open it? Should I? And I just try and remind myself the pain that I've had in the past when I've cracked any Evolving Skies packs that I'm like, you're not gonna get anything from this. And the Gengar is certainly not gonna be in those Fusion Strike packs. You're gonna end up with like a hollow best case scenario here. Just leave it where it is, and then one day you can crack it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly,
Mm.
yeah, I get that completely. I totally
What
get
was
that.
the message that August put out today then?
So I was put out a message basically saying that you can no longer buy anything from their website, Pokemon cards. You have to buy them from the via the app, and then I think the biggest thing was that most things are going to be collection only rather than. So they said some things will be delivery, but I think they're trying to push people towards like collection because I think ordering it online is having it all like shipped to home. I feel like is a lot more difficult. Well, I think it helps to stop scalpers, right? Because
Mm.
you can't just a bot can't just do the address. I mean, it can reserve it for you, but if you want to buy loads,
Yeah, you just
they're
can't.
not going to let you do that. So because it's like collection.
Yeah,
So I
it's a good
think
way to get around it.
mm, well, eBay
I
have
mean,
also just announced that they're doing a they're adding like a an authenticity check for Pokemon cards now,
oh,
a
that's
service
cool.
where you can send them off.
That's
Um,
crazy. It's quite a good service actually that eBay offer, and I only know about it because I picked up these running shoes because these are really cool run shoes. I wanted them for a long time, but they're really expensive to buy brand new. They're like 250.
oh,
And I was like, oh, I can't put that. And it was just after my ankle got better. I was like, I'm just getting back in. I was like, I need a new pair because my old ones, the tread had gone. Like, I can't chuck £250 at a pair of running shoes just yet. And there was a listing on eBay, brand new, boxed. They still had tags on everything, and they were £150. I was like, what? This is nuts. So I just snapped them up straight away,
uh huh.
and it took like about 10 days for them to arrive because they had to get sent to an authentic
Do they do that for free?
site. Yeah, it was all
Oh
free,
wow, damn.
and then they got sent on to me, and they had all the stamp and the documentation with it, and it was really cool. I was like, I didn't think that someone would like replicate trainers like that, but I guess yeah, but they did that, so it's cool that they're doing it for Pokemon cards. Want to I would just worry about who they're getting to do it because I think you've got to be in the hobby. I think to be able to, I don't think you can just pull anyone off the street and be like, give them a list of things to
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, for
I
sure.
think they've got to know Pokemon to be an
You'd hope so.
authenticator,
You'd hope
So
so.
so but that's cool. That gives you a little bit of reassurance because the amount of fakes and stuff like that, like we talked about, is a worrying thing as well. So to get around that and the
Mm.
scalping. That's another reason why I don't like want to pay, like go on eBay and buy a booster box as well, because I'm feeding into this scalper
You don't want to play scalper prices,
market,
do you?
and I know I try not to, never.
But then there's like almost part of me now. It's like, okay, when a set comes out, do I just pay the
Mm,
premium just to get it before it really shoots up again? You
yeah,
know? But then, like you
not
said, you're
bad.
just like
I,
feeding the system.
yeah, you're feeding into it, but it depends how much you want it, right?
Mm.
I think that's where I go back to that moment I had with Celebrations and that special premium collection where I was just like, I'm fine if I can't get product now, because I got so burnt with that and it felt so bad at the time. And I think since then I've been like, if I can't get it, it sucks, but I'm all right with it. There'll be
Hmm.
other opportunities. And I just wait for those other opportunities to come up. And then I think otherwise, if there's cards I really love, um, then I just try and get them, even if they're not like a popular card. I don't really care. There's a cool Tapu Koko EX illustration rare card that I loved the art of, and that was like £14 when that set dropped.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, um, and it's still quite a cheap card now. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think in those scenarios, I would just be like, okay, that's fine. I'll pick that single up, and then I don't need to worry about anything else. But yeah, everyone's their own. Everyone's got their own little things where it's not going to be as easy as going out and doing that. But yeah, it's such a strange market environment now to what it was like 5 or 6 years ago, and that's just crazy just to think that it's made this huge jump
Mm.
in that amount of time. And where will it be?
In
Like, we've got
2 years'
Winds
time.
and Waves. Winds and Waves comes out next year, so we're going to start like sets with those Pokemon shortly after that game drops. Because I'd imagine this year will be all Mega Evolution,
Uh huh.
probably
Yeah.
leading up to those.
Yeah. So
And then what? Yeah.
I guess
And
yeah,
then what?
they've milked the sets. I think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I mean, they've done about 20 sets, roughly 20, maybe a bit less than that for both Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. So they're going to be doing a similar again for Wind and Waves.
That's a crazy amount, isn't it? It's a crazy amount.
Mm.
Is that including the holiday sets like Paldean Fates and stuff like that?
Yeah, that does include the holiday calendar, so you can minus them. But yeah, at least 15 sets, and they're doing on what it's at least 15 sets per. Um,
And what's the set like size now on average? Like, just click into one of the newer ones
oh no,
to have a look.
let's do perfect order.
This is
88
one that's been
cards.
idiot. I got a booster box of this from Argos actually.
Mm.
I feel like Perfect Order was really readily available.
See, there's 207 in a holiday set, 217 in a holiday set. That's fucking mental.
That is crazy.
And Phantasmal Flames only has 94. Why are there more cards in a holiday set? That's crazy.
That is nuts.
How much in Mega
Like, got
Evolution?
something like Surgeon Sparks. I'm sure that's a massive
132.
set.
It seems to vary quite a bit
Mm,
actually.
Surgeon
Sorry,
Sparks.
yeah, you managed to pick a perfect order box up.
Yeah, got one of them from Argos. So that was quite good. That was my local Argos, yeah. But again,
Nice.
that was just having one of those. There's is it Pokemon Stocks UK. They're amazing account, and they'll
Mm.
post when anything becomes available. So it's hit or miss, like most of the time, if you can get in and get stuff. But most of the time, it's like no, that you just can't. You click into it, even if you're like there just after it's posted and stuff's gone already.
Mm.
It's hard, and I
Oh
guess it's
yeah.
harder because we're probably both coming from a place where we were once comfortable and maybe paying a little bit more, but everything was always readily available, to now where it's just like nothing's available. And I
Mm.
mean, you can go if you want, you can pay a premium and you can pick pretty much anything you want up, but
Yeah.
it's at what stage and at what point do you kind of say, no, that's too much for what I want to pay for it, you know? If you're
Yeah.
happy paying those prices, then great, fair
Well, the
play
thing
to you,
is,
but I think
stuff's
everyone
worth
has a
what
cap.
people are willing to pay for it, right? That's the whole point.
Of course.
And if
Yeah.
people are willing to pay for it, then fair play. People are obviously buying scalp product because people want to scalp it. If that wasn't the case, I think there are services like the Whatnot services and now eBay are doing it, where people the rip and ship stuff has kind of ruined collecting as well, because a lot of them are
Mm.
buying that up to do their streams,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of those, because again they're sort of, I think that combined with the high demand and the scalping just makes things just like I went into one shop and in Salisbury actually. I was talking to the lady in there. She's really nice. And she was like, "Oh yeah, basically all of my product just goes to that I get hold of. Basically, just gets bought by the Whatnot people who
Really?
just do the Whatnot stuff because they constantly need product in order to do.
Wow.
Um, so it's just crazy. But
That's maybe a thing as well that's going to help the likes of, you that keep products sealed in the future, where actually more stuff than
it's
we
being ripped.
anticipated has been ripped because of these services. But yeah, that side of the thing is like exploded. eBay now they have their lives on there as well. So it's crazy. I've never really been really that interested in doing anything like that or get like buying from those or anything. I just think it's not healthy for
Yeah,
the
community.
hobby. But I don't know if if I need to like change my mentality to the hobby as a whole and get with the times, or if I like what I'm thinking is actually,
Mm-hmm.
am I being too much of a purist and I should just be like, whatever, it is what it is,
Yeah, it's difficult. It is very difficult. I think I 100% agree with you. But times are changing, and it kind of like you said, it just is what it is. And I think
Mm,
that's one of the things in life is just accepting things for what they are. And I think unfortunately, Pokemon collecting has kind of just become one of those things that's difficult to do now, unless you want to pay the premium. And like I said, we just kind of got to be thankful for what you managed to get hold of. Because I always have this like inner dialogue of like, okay, I'm buying stuff to eventually sell. So like, am I part of the problem? Um,
mm.
but in my
I've
head,
definitely had
at
that
least
feeling
I
before.
rationalize it as like, well, I'm not. I think the biggest problem is the people that are scalping them to then instantly resell. Um, I guess some people would argue that what we're doing is exactly the same thing, but I would argue that there is a distinction. If you're buying stuff to instantly flip, then you're just a scumbag. Um, if you were collecting and you want to collect, I'm not fucking sitting on 6 booster boxes and stuff. I've got one of it. I've only got one booster box, and the rest I've got is
Mm.
ETBs, and I've got one of each. That's it. Like
And you never know, like in the future, you might be like, I just want to open that.
exactly.
You've already talked about like how much you love opening packs, but like, say you were in a place like in 15 years' time where the money for what you would sell it for wasn't anything that would be life changing or
For sure.
anything that would make any impact. And you're like, I'm actually going to get way more enjoyment out of opening this
Uh,
box, which is like so rare. Like, how many other people have this opportunity right now to open it? And you might turn around and just be like, I'm going to crack this. And then you might pull a banger and then just be like, whoa.
worth.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Imagine there's a Moonbrian in that Evolving Skies box that you've got.
there's not. That's not. I'm not. I'm
Maybe.
not. I'm not ripping it. I'm telling you now. That is not. That's the one. So that
No,
is not
I
being
would,
ripped.
yeah, definitely don't do that because there probably won't be the likelihood of anything good in that box. It's
No,
so slim, so slim.
definitely not.
I wish I hadn't cracked one of the Evolving Skies that I got, because I got zero in mine. I mean, the one that I opened, there was nothing in it,
Yeah,
like
203
nothing.
cards. There's no way. There's no way.
No, too many. But no, it's I just wish there was the product there, so whoever wanted to go out and buy it could readily just buy it at MSRP.
Mm,
That's all I wish for. A world where stuff was available and anyone that wanted it could just go out and get it. But unfortunately, that is not the world we live in right now. Maybe it is. Maybe things take a change. But I'm probably way too naive, and I don't think things are going to be going back to that place anytime soon, mate. Unfortunately.
no. No, but let's
Hmm.
not let's not get too let's not end it on too much of a depressing note. I think it's always I do find it super interesting though. Like I don't know, just as someone who's a big Pokemon fan, like collecting is really interesting, and like the mental reasoning for people to collect, and because like there are people who just collect for the sake of collecting, and I'm like my brain's just like, how can you do that? But the people just enjoy it.
Hmm.
And I do enjoy
Completionists.
my statistical brain and overthinking part of my brain does enjoy just theorizing about what cards are worth that and this, and um You know, like I said, you can get hold of stuff. Sometimes there's a bit of luck involved, but at the end of the day, it's something that we all enjoy. And yeah, we could ramble on about this for hours, but I think we should wrap up. We've been recording for about an hour then, so I think it's. Is there anything you want to add
Probably a good time.
before we wrap
No,
up?
I share the sentiment, mate. I think it's probably a good time to wrap things up. DCG, it'd be a good one to come back to
Oh, for
in
sure.
maybe a few months' time and be like, where do we sit with all of this now? Especially if we get some more movement in stock or things like that. But to any of you collectors or
Let us know what you think about the
just
current market.
enjoyers, yeah, let us know how your experiences have been, because it'd be great to get like just more opinions about how you're finding things at the minute. Have you stopped collecting? Are you continuing? Are you fully into it? Yeah. Or what are your ways to get around the kind of navigating the market as it is right now? It would be great to hear. But yeah, we'll come back to this for sure. Been great talking about it. Other Pokemon news, Scott, quickly before we go. I don't think there's very much happening at the minute. We got that Wind and Waves behind the scenes trailer today for the theme tune. It was quite nice. It was quite pretty. It didn't really reveal anything. Pokemon Champions season 2 started as of today of recording the pod. So that started same format as before. We're getting closer to live events with champions, so that's exciting. But otherwise, I don't think there's been very much going on. So hopefully, we'll have more to report on next week when we get a co-member back, Costa.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely been missed this week. But if you've made it this far, please leave a comment down below. Let us know, like I said, what you think about the current market. Did you enjoy the episode? If you did, please consider dropping a subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let us know what you'd like us to discuss in future episodes, because it's always good to see what you guys want to listen to, and your thoughts and stuff. We love chatting and reading your comments, so we really appreciate it. Anything you want to add, Lee?
Nah, just thank you to the viewers out there in Viewerland, and we'll see you next week. The Critical Catch Pod. Thank you, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Scott. Bye bye.